welcome to our Halloween special, all you folky people out there. As you can see, we're in an unusual place. This is and obviously a very unusual times we're in. And I'll hand you over to our Queen Chi, our amazing host.
Hello, everyone. We are indeed in the old morgue, which is where Tommy's business, Aladdin's Den, is housed. The old morgue, Tinker's Antiques, let me just clarify. So as you know, the old morgue was once a place of many, many, many corpses and dead bodies. And as a result, this building has indeed turned into a haunted premises that experiences a lot of troubling and disturbing paranormal activity on a regular basis. We, the WonderZoo crew, have been called in on this night to investigate the paranormal disturbances that Tommy is getting very, very agitated by. He wants to get to the bottom of this, and we are here to find out why it keeps happening, why things keep flying around the room when Tommy's trying to serve customers. Why do we hear howls echoing through the corridors whilst Tommy's simply trying to relax and have a cup of tea and run a business? So we're here to help tonight. If you, the audience, do happen to see any unusual visions or apparitions during this Zoom gig, please do message us, because we want to know what other people are seeing. We want to really, really help Tommy out and basically find out why this keeps happening.
Also tonight, as you guessed, we're launching our new online magazine, which is called Gabi, what's it called again? We cater for deep freezers, so it's in line with the idea of the COVID. Obviously, this is our third magazine with that title in, and Gabi will be coming up soon throughout the evening. I mentioned that. I'd like to say that after the main gig, anyone involved in the magazine, we are going to stay on, so you can welcome to join in. Anyone that's on Zoom, and just message through saying that you want to perform, and people can stay on and perform after the main event.
Yeah, so if you have had your work accepted into our new anthology, please make it known to us that you'd like to perform one of your pieces at the end of this curated gig. So, but without further ado, and thank you so much to everyone who has been waiting patiently for our technical issues to be resolved. I'd just like to point out that the technical faults were nothing to do with the WonderZoo expertise in running gigs. It was purely the paranormal interference trying to screw with us, because they do not want us to get to the bottom of this problem. So first up, in the first half, we have the wonderful Clare Peartree. She is a new writer to the scene. She writes poetry and she's based in Cheshire. She's also a multi-linguist, shall I say, cunning linguist, in the words of Gabi Marcellus-Temple. And she actually met Gabi at university where they studied translation together. Hi there, Clare Peartree. Are you there?
I should probably unmute myself. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Clare. It's very nice that you could join us. Sorry for all the technical problems at the start, and I really warmly welcome you. You and I haven't spoken in person before, and I actually at the moment can't actually see the screen very well, so I can't see your face, but I can hear your voice.
That's okay. Actually, my lighting is not tremendous.
I will now just ask everyone in. What's up? Oh, says you're looking very spooky.
Yeah.
So I would like to just ask everyone in the Zoom gig that whilst we have a performer doing their thing, please would you kindly mute yourself just so that everyone can hear the performance. And without further ado, I shall hand over to Clare Peartree. Thank you.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. Is everyone feeling spooky this evening? You can't hear me. Well, you can't reply to me, so unfortunately my lighting actually had a bit of a technical incident too, so we're now here by candlelight. Anyway, I have just one piece that I'd like to share with you all this evening, and I hope you enjoy it and it sets the mood for the rest of the night. Enjoy. I sense the wind blowing. Feel it licking around my face. The creaking of the boughs of the old oak and a far-off call from a solitary crow. It is time, she murmurs. I look up and gaze at the shining shards of rock and dust above, flashing and flaring like a swarm of dancing fireflies. It is time, she intones. I breathe in. 1, 2, 3, and the earthy aroma of petrichor fills my nostrils. I smile. It is time, she whispers. I feel her breath on my ear. I stir and stretch out my fingers, reaching, stretching. I almost touch her now. She's so close. It is time, she breathes, as she lowers her lips onto mine. The kiss, inevitable now. It is time, I exhale. There's a spark as our lips meet, and we begin to spiral around and around, faster and faster, whirling and whirling, transformation begun. And we swirl and shimmer into the darkness, the enchantress and I, finally together, finally one. That's what I have for you this evening. I hope that sets the tone a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully it is on point.
Thank you so much, Claire. That was lovely.
Thank you.
What's that? Hi, was that the, did you have anything else to read, Claire?
I actually don't have anything else to share with you this evening.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. That's not
okay.
a problem. I
I'm
just wondered.
short and sweet.
That's absolutely fine. So our next artist is from Cornwall. Her name is Raven Rose, and she has performed with WonderZoo many times, and I've had the privilege of seeing her powerful, impactful, passionate performances. Hello, Raven. Are you with us, Raven Rose? Have you unmuted
Sorry
yourself?
about that.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes, I've unmuted myself.
Great to see you, and I'm loving the haircut.
Yes, I decided that, what with it being the apocalypse, that you should dress for the apocalypse you want, and I'm going Mad Max.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It's really great to see you again.
Yeah, I always enjoy performing at WonderZoo. I have my little familiar here. She will be coming round to do some mischief.
Oh, hello.
Say hello to everybody, Puck.
We've got a little doll here called Mrs. Linden to say hello as well.
Hello there. Hello. Thanks so much.
Hello. Right, so well, the demon is telling me that she could do a cracking stand-up routine about why English is a second language in hell. I'm gonna stick with what I tend to do for like Halloween WonderZoos, and I'm gonna read a short story. It's a ghost story. I need to say very specifically that my father is still very much alive. This is a very specific clarification you will understand. It's called North from Flodagarry. I recently lost my father, which is not to say I misplaced him down the sofa like a set of keys on my purse, but rather he passed away. I wasn't at the funeral. There's a lot of hurt in our family. Words that once spoken could never be unsaid. Truth be told, I had only just started talking to my parents again. After years of not talking or responding to phone calls, my mother left a message on my answer phone. It takes a lot to let someone you love go, and listening to her voice damn near broke my heart. Of course, things weren't easy, but then they never are. All that mattered that there was something there. Then Dad died, and I learnt just how vindictive some of my siblings could be. It was 2 days before the funeral when I got a phone call from the eldest of my two sisters. Through tears, she explained how the other two had changed the dates of the funeral at the last minute, also I couldn't go. Nat's words and tears were muted by the roaring emptiness that washed over me. It was all I could do not to fall in a heap on the floor and never get up again. The knife song, never far from my thoughts, rose in my mind and threatened to carry me with it into the darkness. I'm not sure how long I cried down the phone line, but when it was finally over, I was left drained and hollow, like a dead thing stranded on the beach after the tide has receded. I went home, but not back to my family. Instead, I found myself in Flodagarry on the northern tip of Skye. It is a wild, windswept place, and when things go wrong, I always seem to find my way back. I met him on the coast walk north towards Balmaqueen. He was sat on a boulder staring out to sea, wearing a coat a garish share of turquoise, so familiar my heart ached to see it. I walked past him, head down, uttering the barest amount of courtesy such meetings in the wild call for. "Hello, Alice," he said. "I've been waiting for you." I turned and looked at him, my question choking in my throat. "Dad, but you're..." He smiled and nodded in that reassuring way fathers do. "I am, but there were things I still needed to do." I laughed. What else could I do? It was either that or run away screaming, scared of my own thoughts. "So you're going to walk the earth, visiting each family member in turn, setting things right." He smiled again. "No, just you, Alice. Just you." The tears I'd been holding back swept over me, a tsunami of bitterness and grief. "I'm sorry. I never wanted things to be this way. All I wanted was to be myself." He held me when I was 5 again, anchoring myself to the rock that is a father's love for his daughter. "I know. All you could ever be was you. You went out into the world and you lived your life on your own terms. Do you not know how proud that made us?" I shook my head. "I thought you hated me after everything that was said and done. I couldn't imagine you still loving me." "Look at me," he said in a tone that brooked no disobedience. "We never once stopped loving you." And it was true. I could see it in his eyes. He turned away from me and stared out to sea again. It's funny. So much is clear now. Things I never understood at the time. He turned and smiled again. "Do you remember when you were 7 and you read The Hobbit? How you mooned over Morgue and you spent weeks sleeping on your hoard of books?" I smiled, remembering. "Do you remember what I called you?" I did. And I remembered the joy of lying on my hoard, thinking my dragon thoughts, and I laughed at the absurdity of it all. "Yes, I was your little dragon." "Yes, my little dragon. It's strange looking at you now, seeing the truth of it. You're our child, but you weren't ours. Not in the way the others were." I stared at him, What?
Dad,
He
I've been
smiled.
charging them.
We could see ourselves in your brother and sisters, but never in you. We loved you all the same, but for you that was only ever a cage. He took my hand as my vision started to blur. Don't be sad, little dragon. You can no more change who you are than Canute could hold back the tide. We loved you. It's all that ever mattered. I just wish I could have been the daughter you wanted. I saw how much you loved the others and how different I was, and Alice, he said, you are a fierce, independent, and free-spirited creature. If we had loved you any less than we did, we could never have let you go. He stared out to sea again. They call you back here, don't they? I looked at him. As non-secretors go, it was a pretty damn good one. He laughed. They'd like to meet you, those who call you Ken. Their impossible daughter, walking through the world long since barred to them. But you are my family, I said. He shook his head. We were only ever the people that raised you. Now, are you coming? He strode off, and after a moment I followed him. He waited for me at the top of a narrow cut in the cliff face. This is important, Alice, he said. It's like all those times in the high places where I helped you across the gaps and ledges. Keep hold of my hand and you'll be all right. The way down was so close to vertical that it barely qualified as such. I shook my head. I can't get down there. We need rope. And he looked at me. Do you trust me? I nodded, and I realized that no matter how weird and unreal this situation was, that yes, I did trust him. I always had. He smiled again. Good. Now take my hand and do everything I tell you. What followed had a dreamlike quality. We descended that narrow ravine like it was a set of stairs. I put my feet and free hand exactly where he told me to, and I felt none of the terror I would have should I have attempted such a foolhardy descent on my own. At the bottom, the wave-worn rock was smooth and treacherous, and salt spray soaked us. I looked around the place. Oh, he looked at me again. Can you remember me walking on water in Brittany? I nodded. You stood on a rock just below the surface. I didn't see it, and I thought you were a superhero for the rest of the day. He smiled. Well, this is like that day, except there aren't any rocks. He pointed across the waves to a craggy islet about half a mile offshore. The ones who would meet you reside there. I looked at the speck of rock he pointed to. There aren't any people there. Whatever gave you the idea they're people? He squeezed my hand. Are you ready? He didn't wait for my reply and simply stepped into a trough left by the retreating water. I have never walked on water, and I doubt I will again, except maybe in some dark shore of dreaming. It was a wild and exhilarating ride. The waves moved beneath us and the air was filled with spume, yet somehow the water beneath our feet was solid and bore our weight. And soon we were clambering into the leeward shore of the islet. We scrambled to the top where salt-blasted grass hung on between lichen-encrusted boulders. Dad sat down and motioned me to join him. Look, he said and pointed to a flock of distant seagulls. They dream of dragons. I stared, not seeing, but then he held my hand once more and I understood. The gulls wheeled and spun and danced, singing a mournful song about the dragons who once were. Little daughter. The words blossomed in my mind, dry, ancient, little more than a whisper, and they were not mine. Little daughter, welcome, join us and sleep until the world can support us and you. A heaviness washed over me, and I yawned. Dad looked at me. They want you to stay, don't they? Yes, was all the reply I could manage. Don't worry, it's not your time to sleep. You'll know when you're ready. He took something out of his jacket pocket. I wanted you to have this. It was his dusty and battered copy of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Thought you lost? He smiled. I had, but they kept it safe for me. It's yours now, Alice. He placed the book in one of my jacket pockets. This book was a thread that bound us together. As long as you hold it in your heart, I will be with you. I tried to nod to show I understood, but instead I leaned against him and fell asleep. I awoke hours later, surrounded by a ring of concerned faces. I hadn't returned to the hostel when I said I would, so they called the Coast Guard and gone looking for me. They found me 20 minutes later, sound asleep in the lee of a boulder well away from the cliff edge. I did get a bit of a telling off from the guy in charge, but as they not have to call out the air sea rescue chopper, his anger softened when he learnt that my dad had just died. I didn't mention the dream. It didn't seem relevant, so I did the next best thing and got roaring drunk in the bar. I didn't even end up paying for that many drinks. The next day, as I was going through the pockets of my jacket, I found a battered and dusty copy of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It had been lost years ago, but it was now mine. A slender thread linking me to my dead father, and now to a strange and exciting future. The book fell open in my hand and I started reading. And that's it. It is kind of about me and my dad.
Is the mic working? Thank you. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that. With the way it's working now, I'm trying to really hear you. I didn't hear everything just because of the way it's been set up, but I'm going to listen to all of this all again and write all the reviews from the audio that we've recorded. So thank you so much to Raven Rose. Did you have anything else you'd like to share? Can you hear me?
Yes, I think I might have muted my incoming audio. Was that okay?
Yeah. I could hear you. Yeah. It's just the way that it's been set up. I couldn't give it my full attention, but I will definitely be listening to it all again and writing a review about you, obviously. But yeah, thank you so much. If there was there anything else that you had prepared, or
I didn't really have anything.
No.
I thought.
Oh,
I
don't
was
worry.
just
If you
gonna-
haven't, you
just
haven't.
gonna
That's
do
fine.
something.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't cutting you
probably
short.
rattle off a poem if anybody wanted a quick poem.
Yeah, feel free.
I'm on the spot, so
If you don't
well,
want to, it's fine.
Yeah, I'll leave it at the story.
Yeah, thank you. It was
good
really nice
story.
to actually hear you speak in that kind of way of prose, like building a story. Because I've heard a lot of your poetry that you've performed before, but it's really nice to hear something different. So I'm looking forward to listening to that back again on the audio when we record it all. Yeah, thank you. Was
No,
there
thank
anything
you for
anyone
having me.
would like to say to Raven? If you do, just comment in the chat box or unmute yourself and just say what you need to say. Oh, we've got comments coming through. Let me have a look.
Somebody wanted the stand up. Are you sure you could?
Amazing. Cheers, Raven. Well spoken. Do the stand up, someone has said. So yeah. Are you gonna be going into doing like sort of stand up comedy more?
Well, the idea for the show is it's going to be a mixture of stand-up poetry, some stories. I might even sing because I have an idea for a song about the one man I actually love.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're in for a treat.
And that man is Ramen.
That man is who, sorry?
That man is Ramen.
Ramen.
As in
Ramen.
noodles.
Oh, right. Right.
Yep, Ramen, the one
McGough
good
wants to
man.
say something.
Hello, everybody. I'm just going to try and move the camera to the legendary Tommy. And he's just going to give a little bit of thing about his shop. Can we see Tommy? because I can't see from here.
So our location right now is the old morgue in Stonehouse. It's right by Union Corner, just behind. It's where Mr. Scarecrow's attic used to be. And our very good friend, Tommy Llewellyn, has taken it over to create his own business, selling bric-a-brac, furniture, and lots of oddities. So if Tommy would like to say a couple of words. Hi, Tommy.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just invited Chi in because I've known her for years, and Pete because I always seem to get on with him and whatever. So yeah, just sort of have a bit of WonderZoo in my place for the evening. It's just basically a knick-knack shop full of paintings, curios, just odd bits and pieces and house clearances and all sorts of things really. So I just down here. It's the old morgue for Plymouth where they used to bring all the dead people. So all the dead people used to get brought here, and basically, yeah, it's just like a funny knick-knack shop, really. I took it on when I was homeless, come out. Well, I don't know what goes on in life anyway, but anyway, yeah. So the millionaire left it to me when I was homeless, basically, and yeah. So yeah, I've got my own knick-knack here, really.
Thank you, Tommy. And it was Tommy who actually sought our help to come to the sort of discover why things keep flying off shelves and pictures keep falling off walls. And there is genuine paranormal activity happening, isn't there, Tommy?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. I think. Well, yeah. Everyone that's ever been here before has said it's full of ghosts, full of paranormal, everything like that. And yeah, people keep coming up to me about ghosts. And then the other night, I had like a chair just suddenly jump across the room, and I was like definitely like a little bit spooked by it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I've always believed in paranormal of some sort, if I'm honest, but yeah, I do definitely had I don't know, like, you know what I mean, I've had about 3 or 4 in my life, so you know, I definitely believe maybe there's something or other. You know?
Yeah, okay. So like we said, if anyone notices anything flying off walls or anything strange happening, please just comment in the comment box so that we can look back at the recordings and get to the bottom of this. Okay, our next artist, she's not actually going to be performing with us this evening, but I'm going to give a little brief intro to her work. So Hannah Linden has been published in print and digital journals, most recently in Magma, The Interpreter's House and Other Poems. Her poem exploring the impact of parental suicide was chosen as part of a recently released 84 anthology to raise awareness around the high number of male suicides in the UK. She's performed at the Hay Festival, and she's currently working towards her first collection of poems. If you want to follow her, oh my God, the ghosts are getting agitated and angry. So if anyone would like to follow Hannah Linden on Twitter, it's Hannah L1N. As she can't be here to perform, I'm going to hand the mic over to Gabi Marcellus-Temple, who's going to perform on her behalf.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard the bang.
Oh, I heard that.
Sorry about the switch round. Obviously, we've got a few things going on here tonight, which is interesting. And I'm going to read a few poems by Hannah. I'll post the links to them as they're all up on the internet after I've finished. This is They're All Dead, and Look Who's Wearing Our Coat. If there was ever a time to find the threads left to us, we'd weave us such a coat as would keep us warm of a winter. But the sheep in sheep's clothing has been fleeced, and it's so cold out here. Our last defence against the wild zeroes in on us. The wolf is eating our grandmothers, and our coats are hanging out to dry in our landlord's gardens. Enoch and Maggie look down laughing. No one's looking for a new loom. What stories they told us whilst the axeman did their dirty work. Red dye running rivers to the sea. Next one's Cottage in the Wood. Be careful of the stories you keep, my mother said. Peel back their metaphors and check under their skins before you put them into your basket. Mother forgets sometimes the basket, the tightness of its weave, how big its handle. Life was simpler under lampposts. It's hard to remember when Mother stopped dropping breadcrumbs, only that the birds had been angry after they filled the sky. With loud wings and black, cloud-heavy shadows, she stopped looking up or back, closed the track, and Lost became so normal it almost felt like the cottage in the wood was home. Siblings were a dream I couldn't let myself coddle. Sleep, the rhythm of water that has nowhere left to fall. Mother was a pool of cave. The witch my mother had made for me was a fragment of heat on the scent of gingerbread. However much I ate, I would never be full. This one's called Skywards. He promised me wings, said some creatures are meant to fly. Sun gazing had taken his eyes. On the ground, he was clumsy. I am clumsy. Oh. Sorry, attacked by a pumpkin. On the ground, he was clumsy. I am clumsy. Was that why he chose me? Always, I look down. I know feet better than hands, shy away from fingers, bloody with stolen feathers. When he fell without words, no one knew that patch of earth better than I. The worn soil where things no longer grow. The family plot, shoes left at the door. His promised wings. The last one of Hannah's I'll read tonight is Above the Living Room Fire. We were hoping to stream some work of hers that's on SoundCloud, but I'm not sure if that's going to work for us tonight. So we'll put the link up in the chat as well. Above the Living Room Fire. Everyone had that painting, didn't they? Well, everyone we knew round here. But not everyone felt as proud of it. Not everyone's mum looked like her. So that there was a nod, an embarrassed look down, as a man's eyes swept the painting's cleavage or weighed the weight of the ponytail in their mind's heart. And she took the exotic location, the brown eyes, the glisten of her perfect skin, and wore them over her stretch marks, over the blush on her legs, from sitting too close to the open fire. I wanted her to have that far-flung sky, the view out of the door of the painting. I wanted her to be anywhere but here, maybe, as a sensible child, even more than she did. When we left in a hurry, missing the demolition men by days, leaving Dad and toys still on the shelf above the kitchen door, she must have stayed in the painting, mustn't she? She must have felt the walls cave in on her. I wondered if she felt where my fingers had touched her hand once, when no one was looking. How I'd loved her, and then forgot I had. Right, I think I better leave it at that before there's more attacks. I love Hannah's poetry. I'm not sure the spirits do.
Thank you so much to Gabi Marcellus-Temple reading the poetry of Hannah Linden. And now we come to our midway 10-minute break. So the time now is 8:15, and we'll see everyone back here at 8:25. Just one more word from Slane.
I'd just like to say that was very scary seeing records fly around in there. I heard a lot of banging as well. Huh? Oh, Gary's telling me off or something.
So see you all in 10 minutes. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second half. As some of you may have noticed that during the first half there, we had a little bit of paranormal activity. Some records were sort of flying off their shelves, and upon further investigation to see what these records were, one of them was actually by Black Sabbath, the title of which was Never Say Die. So I'm not sure why they chose to throw that one to us. Is it some sort of hint at immortality, of that we all turn into ghosts? I don't know. It's very curious. Another object that was thrown at us during this poetry recital was a Bible. Could that be one of our entities telling us that we need to turn to God in these times? Not sure. What do you think, Tommy?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's plausible, but you never can tell in the world, can you? You know, it could be anything really. But yeah, I suppose if you look in like one of the sermons in there, it might be like a message in there. You never know, do you? You know, so don't take it lightly, I'd say.
No, we won't take it lightly. We take it very seriously. Right. Our first performer, artist, poet, Maris Longstaff. Hello, Maris. Maris is a renowned poet with a unique performance style from Plymouth and has been active in the Black Lives Matters movement by performing at the Solidarity protest this year. Hi, Maris.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
I'll hand the mic over to you now. So please do start whenever you feel ready.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
You can see me. Okay. Yeah, hi. And this evening, I'm going to perform 2 poems. The first one is called Secrets of the Windrush. I'm quite happy for people to get back to me if they want any deciphering of the stuff I've written. As she said, it's in a very different style. Okay, so any problems, please get back to me. Secrets of the Windrush. Oh no, it's hard for think about. Those crimes of life, the struggle, the strife that rob me of my light, my fight, my might. Remember plenty bad feelings, even though at the time it was just a little picnic. I toddle around in nothing but a baggie. It said my feelings did wider than any ocean I could dream, and bury down deeper than the seas upon which the windrush roar. As me grow, me hear say, when my mother left me, she cry and cry, hug, kiss me goodbye. Now tell me, what in that story can pacify a confused child, hard like stone, alone? Her disappearance changed up my world. Like, for the first time, me did afraid. Fear, you know, angry, disoriented, lost, sad, and a whole heap more me could add. Me did overwhelm for sure, and always a bubble with pressure. Alone, I learn to suppress pain. Nothing to gain, and there's no joke. Who could have noticed little me, a drowning in the fanfare of that magnificent boat? So, me and my mother meet up over 5 years later. She know me, but after so many years, no idea of mother in a me head. Almost like she did dead. My mother claimed me. I was hers. It was that invasion that set the scene for decades of misery. Most prominent was the unspoken rule No feelings must show in a this your house. Me did always have to make sure nothing in my mind suddenly slip and come out my lip. It did only a child, so it did come tricky. And each time me slip and give me another chip, and I was never forgiven. Little did they know they were crafting a scapegoat, cripple and forever cursed to dance in the flames of mama trauma drama. It's been hell. Shh, don't tell. Thank you. This is the latest, and it's called Meghan Markle. Sorry, I can't even say her name. Meghan Markle Matters. Every woman matter. That is a fact every right-thinking woman know. Eh? And I saw plenty of evidence that many pride them colour above other and believe, sir, is only a white race matter. Yes, them deserve the best of everything, and they won't stand by and watch any other colour even try to get a slice or win, especially if she are black. And Meghan Markle may talk about the woman accomplished in her own right. It all kind of message sent out, say, in a this your land, compare with white, Meghan undeserving of any light, especially when it comes to the finer things in life. These haters love to invade, shame, and insist to keep under par. Why? Why do war? Me say, it's because one they get drop a black blood in a haar. Now, none of them so fool for stand up alone and call out her staying loud. Instead, everywhere they found big crowd and undercover, serve up the gal big plates of all things negative that season in the dirt of white privilege. They said the gal can't do right for doing wrong because she choose her flowers for her wedding day. A thing all brides like for them wear. Meghan no get no credit for your beautiful spray. Instead, them say her bouquet did dangerous and put at risk Princess Charlotte, a little child with approved white royal status. Hey. Now, you can sound like a real bitch, but me have to say, if the situation did switch and a Meghan child did have allergy, nobody would even know about it or even give a shit. So you see, Meghan charged with sin before her wedding. And because she not throw away her thing to fully accommodate Charlotte's sensitivity, the makeup story so ugly. Wonder what I think Meghan and Mara Hindley. Meghan can't put behind bars. So frustrate those zealots fixate and demonizing her. We hear Meghan consumption of avocado pear linked to poor practice somewhere out there. And in some continent, cause drought, human rights abuse, and destruction of environment. You know, see, without trial, Meghan Brand a pariah. Now, Kate is subject to all this harsh scrutiny and judgment. For when she did pregnant, she gushed about this superfood. There was no ado. Me said no eyebrow raise. She get praise. them reprimand McGough. Now, what we should call all this kind of thing. Some say nothing, and black woman too sensitive. Me say, me. These scoundrels always deny and may try and hide, but them it's them relentless negativity that best showcase their bigotry. Them drive always portray McGough as less than. Thank you. Me done.
Thank you so much, Maris. Thank you.
Thank you, Maris.
Woo! Great to see you.
Woohoo!
Oh, Sharon.
Hello. Fantastic, Maris. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So you found your voice.
Anything they'd like to say to Maris? Is there anything written in the comments? Or I'll just go and check. Has anyone said anything? Tell me what they said. Oh, what was it? Fantastic, Maris. Someone has said, so true, Maris. Only now hearing the trauma caused. Love Maris. Maris, this is phenomenal. Keep going down. Woo, someone said, and awesome. Seems like you've got lots and lots of fans there right now, Maris. Someone has said, powerful truth. Your strength comes through strong, Maris. Thank you for sharing and expressing this. Excellent, as always, Maris. Oh, that's great. So our next artist is the wonderful Liv Torc. She hasn't actually come online yet. So in this, oh gosh, being attacked by paranormal entities.
The doll on me.
Whilst we just wait for Liv Torc to show up, Gabi is actually going to give us a little bit of information about the recent WonderZoo magazine that is going to be out today. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Gabi.
It's a bit of crossover here. She gets out, I can get in. Pete's been attacked by an 80-pound possessed mannequin. This is not just any possessed mannequin. This is a possessed mannequin from Tommy's shop.
It's usually cheap knick-knack price, but that mannequin is worth £300 brand new. She's got 2 missing arms, so she's down to 80 quid.
Wow. Right, so if anyone's looking to acquire a haunted mannequin, we have the opportunity here tonight. Oh, I think I just saw her hat move. She does now.
Look, they're saying they've got 2.
I thought you were going in for the boobs. Oh no. Right. Anyway, yeah, back to the magazine. And as I said, if anyone does see, we've had some people messaging saying there've been some orbs of light floating around. So if you see anything like that, let us know.
We often film orbs in here, and we have like a face comes in the background. And basically what happens is, so we've got like we've got one orb actually that comes around, and then it comes right up to the camera, looks like a face and disappears again. So I get that quite often, to be fair.
Yeah.
Along with moving chairs, people walking in rooms, not being in the room afterwards, things like that. So it does actually, it's an old morgue, like Victorian morgue.
And you're going to start running paranormal nights here soon, aren't you?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely, every time I have a paranormal evening here, I get spooked out. I can't even stay in here after.
All right, fair enough.
Because it comes to life.
Yeah.
Because if you've had people calling up spirits, what happens is, like, the rest of the evening, the next 2 or 3 days, everything, like, gets an extra glow. Like, it becomes alive. Like, all the sort of knickknacks become, like, they get, like, another dimension of glow on them, where it's like, you're expecting it to move because you've been spooked out. So maybe it's just, just a mental thing, but it becomes, like,
it's uncomfortable.
It stops being like just a knick-knack shop, and it becomes like everything's sort of spooked, right? Because they obviously call up dead and things like that. They do like well, they call up dead people and things like that. So
Yeah.
it spooks me out a bit afterwards, considering it's an old Victorian morgue one.
Yeah. Need to do some cleansing after those evenings, maybe.
You get a weird shimmer where you're not quite comfortable with everything. Like every door you go in, you sort of scuttle out afterwards. And silly things like that just affect you.
Yeah. Stop talking now. Sorry, I just got told to put the mic on Tommy's mouth and missed him.
It's a different world when you're by yourself. When you're with loads of people, it doesn't matter because you all got your energies between each other. But when you're by yourself, it's like that quiet wind, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning, when it's like a quiet hush and it's like a spooky wind. You feel really alone and sort of your spirit. You know, when your spirit feels alone, you don't feel like connected to anything other than a real quiet hush where it can like. I don't know. When you're nearby yourself, it's definitely something other like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's certainly pretty atmospheric in here and seems pretty busy tonight as well. Talking about the anthology, which will be up online by the end of the gig tonight, we've got some fantastic work in there. We've got a piece or 3 pieces by Clare Duthie, who's told me she'll come back and read later tonight. And I'm trying to think who else. We've got a new piece by Robert Garnham, who some of you may know, Veronica Aronson, Leslie Constable, William Telford. Roland Chesters has written a fantastic piece remembering his mother's childhood during the Second War, and some brilliant visual art from Tom Loveter. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Bob Hoke. And for the first time ever, we've got some music along with the anthology online. So you'll be able to download it as a PDF. And then, someone's definitely just seen an orb, apparently. Oh, okay. I didn't see anything. So there's something behind me. Now I'm getting freaked out now. Yeah, so we've got some work by Rob C. Writing with Julian Isaacs, Aztec Tree. We've got Slane, McGough Davey and Hippie and Kandara. I think that's everyone on the music. So yeah, have a look at that and check it out. It will be up later tonight, and I'm going to go and hide again because I think it's safer.
Just transferring over, it's a very small place, especially when there's lots of spooky things going on. Where's our host gone? Has she been kidnapped by the spooks? I don't know.
I'm here. Hi, Liv Torc. You're the next performer on our bill. Are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Great. Yay. Welcome to WonderZoo special Halloween night. It's really great to have you here, and really looking forward to your spoken word and poetry. So I'll hand the mic over to you.
Hello, everybody. I've kind of sort of decorated for you. This is my, I've lit up. I've borrowed my child's glow-in-the-dark ears. So I hope that is approved. It's Halloween, and also for us Druids, it's kind of approaching Samhain time. I don't know if that's been discussed tonight, but that's when the veil between the worlds is thinnest, and sort of pagan tradition, that's when you're most likely to sort of meet your ancestors. So it's sort of where Halloween sort of derived from. And I was kind of looking through my back catalogue thinking, have I got Halloween themed things? And I've got a few. But I'd like to start with something which, over the summer, I was in hospital for quite a long time, and I had some crazy adventures whilst in hospital. And as it's kind of on that theme of life and death this time, I thought I might share a poem I wrote the night I tried to escape from hospital. It's called There's Something About Mary, and it's about the lovely young woman in the bed opposite me, and the night I tried to convince her escaping from hospital would be really great. I sat socially distanced at the end of your bed and said, "Let's get out of here, Mary. Disconnect your fluids. I'll put on my 90s disco pajamas and you can push your own wheelchair for once. It's time to do a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on the gastro ward. We don't need Jack Nicholson off his meds or a 7-foot-tall Indian chief to smash through the wall. You can survive without solid food, and I'm the only one who can open the door. And then it's just one shiny disinfected hall leading to just one more. And we are sailing, cannulas trailing through the glass turnstile that hasn't moved since COVID, past the huddled smokers clinging to their catheters, outside to where the sky meets the car park. The open fields kiss the skylark. We can find that rowan tree by the bin, let the drizzle swizzle our sweat sour skin, wrap our pin-cushioned atrophied arms around the trunk, pull down our masks and breathe her in, because we are not dead yet, are we? Mary smiles at me. She is 22 and has the rare genetic condition Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. She can't eat. Her bones move about like barrels in a boat. She's lost 4 stone in the last 3 months, and this morning they dislocated her shoulders, putting her in the MRI machine. So at 7 a.m. in the morning, we have not left the hospital as a disposable tsunami crashes over every ward. Aprons snap, visors steam, bins clonk, masks stream out like ticker tape. Plastic rains in here and it makes everyone feel sicker. There are no flowers allowed, nothing living that can carry the virus. The fruit cocktail comes out of a tin. There's no air conditioning. I can't even feel the rain when I stick my fingers out the safety windows. I feel so disconnected, it makes my stomach twist. Mary asks if I'm all right. It's Friday night and we are taking bets on her blood sugar levels. How dangerously low is it tonight? How much liquid glucose is she going to have to inject into her tonsils before they leave her alone? 4.2. Safe for a few hours. Everyone is cheering. Mary is doing air high fives with the orderlies. Arnold is dancing in the aisles with the blood pressure machine. I love humans. I sometimes forget, in all the fear and busyness, that we're all just Joni Mitchell lyrics. Big bang millionaires, shortbread. More than supreme guilt gangsters gasping for breath in a hospital bed, but the atoms of everything, as much a part of nature as the circling seagulls. Mary is lying in her bed with her feeding tube, laughing on the phone to her boyfriend, sipping high-calorie energy drinks and then vomiting them back up again, sifting for diamonds in every coal sack setback. It's like evolution is holding her up in front of me and saying, this is one of my finest humans. She might look broken to you, but I made her, and I'm as proud as a mother bear. Mary looks at me determined. So what if they take your colon, she says. You can still be happy. You can still have a great life. And she's right. It's what we all have to do. So I lie back into my sweaty sheets that I've been sticking to all week. And I think maybe Arnold should take the Earth's vitals. I mean, her oxygen levels seem pretty low. Her UK temp is spiking at 32. And you only have to smell the air or read the news to realise our home is pretty sick too. And maybe that's our fault, right? But if COVID has taught us anything, it's that nature keeps on chucking out Marys and brimstones and dandelions like it's Monday morning. So neither of them get my pity. They're both just trying to find quality of life until they get to be stardust again. And that's my something about Mary poem. It's always kind of weird. It's kind of like being sort of on the radio, but not on the radio at these events, isn't it? I should probably put my chat box on. So this is a poem I wrote a couple of years ago I wrote it in the summer, but it is very Halloweeny, and it's called Dissenters' Graveyard. And it's about my kids and an adventure we had. I took them up the road and round the corner to the Dissenters' Graveyard. And it was high summer hot, and bright orange butterflies eddied and twinkled. And they were thinking about ice lollies and rockets and round trees. And I was talking about all the lives under the stones, trying to make their first steps over cold bones, their first fingers on paper poppies, their first touch of the names carved into that yellow moss granite, something soft and deep, like skimming a stone across a pond and counting the ripples. I wanted to engrave in their minds the opposite of fear, the simple idea of a life well lived, of breathing out, like the moment you draw the curtains on a summer's evening and pad upstairs to bed. And as they whooped and skipped between the overgrown headstones, trying to clamber onto the green glass shingle, I did that awful stomach churning propriety versus poetry thing. Don't tread on the graves, kids. It's not polite. It's not right. It's disrespectful to the dead. But also at the same time, right, don't be afraid to tread on the graves. Don't start your life afraid of stepping on death. And as they wound their small bulldozer bodies through this wisteria wonderland, the people under the ground tugged at my earlobes with grasshopper whispers and poked at my shins with snapping twigs. Don't you dare, they said. Stop them dancing on our forgotten faces. We leave the graveyard and close the iron gate and secure it with red baling twine. A car whistles past as we cross the road, its horn blaring, too tight, too close for comfort. And I feel sick inside. My fear sidles onto the pavement and follows us home, and the children laugh at a car with skulls on the dashboard, and the ghosts sleep on. Thank you. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do one more. I've got 15 minutes and I haven't got a time check, so maybe, thank you. I will put a time, if somebody sort of gives me a time check in the chat box, that'd be great. But this is a new poem as well, and it's another one I wrote in hospital. I'm just using you as a kind of test, and it's called People Who Are Dying Get More Pillows, which I think is one of my favourite ever titles of a poem. And it's true, okay? In hospital, have you noticed that? Some, the people who are getting the palliative care definitely have 5 or 6 pillows. I don't know it off by heart, so I'm gonna hopefully disguise the fact that I'm reading it. How to survive a lengthy hospital stay. Make the nurses laugh, but refuse unnecessary enemas that stretch the bowel like a rubber glove in the hands of a children's entertainer. Remember, a banana is not a good substitute for a potassium drip, even if you stick it in your cannula. Request a commode 20 minutes before you need one and get to know which orderlies pull their mask down when they think no one is looking. Always ask people about themselves, especially the cleaners, for they have the best stories. When a nurse says she's going on holiday to Northern Ireland to tour the battle scenes from Game of Thrones, don't ask her for a bed bath. Other people's visitors will want to engage you in conversation, especially when you're wearing colourful pyjamas. Don't be afraid to pull the curtains. Having a shower and washing your hair will make you feel as happy as Dolly Parton in a waterfall. Giving out your conditioner is as close to Santa as you'll ever get. A bottle of lemon squash is the most important thing on your side table. It will make the full-time job of consuming medication 78% easier. Take the anti-sickness. Don't underestimate the IV paracetamol, but be suspicious of the oromorph. Giving blood will become a matter of pride and recrimination. You will hear the words, sharp scratch, so many times it will sound like a Buddhist chant. You will bruise. You will run out of viable veins. Those who fail will call in bigger and scarier phlebotomists with tighter and shinier tourniquet. You will not get a cookie. Nothing happens at weekends, but beware of Monday mornings. They bring phrases like, we've managed to get you an emergency procedure. I'm afraid you ate 5 crisps, so you can't have a sedative. Laxatives and drips are not good bedfellows. The latter beep in 3-syllable exclamations every time you unplug them. The former means you will have to drag that irate metal hat stand out the door and down the hall at least 5 times a night. Every morning, a new consultant will tell you something different, and every night their words will dance in your head in terrifying visions that will give you nightmares. Death might sit by your bed while you sleep and hold you down by your arms, and you will wake up sweating and paralysed. Often you will press your buzzer, and no one will come. Learn to listen to your body. You're not just a list of drugs on a chart. If they strip you of your resilience, you won't be able to heal. Be kind to the other patients. Press your alarm as much for others as you do for yourself. Cry when you need to, and don't apologise. It gives other people permission, and that's important. If someone in the next bed is shouting and asking to die, try to block them out with positive thoughts. If you are shouting and asking to die, take the oromorph. Try to remember, if your eyes are open, you can make every minute matter. If your body is changed forever, you can still find quality of life. People who are dying get more pillows. If you only have one, you are probably going to be okay. Suffering is awful, but try not to despair. You are in hospital where they keep the people who can save you. Keep breathing into everything. Find that place inside where past and future has no meaning, where climate change and COVID and your bank balance and even your family seem far away. Return home to yourself with love. Imagine you are a leaf in the wind and the human race is a layer on an archaeological dig. You will learn that death can be seductive, like becoming, returning, letting go, locking the back door at the end of a very long day. Living is the brave thing. And you will have to choose pretty quickly because they will want your bed. Thank you. I'm Liv Torc. You can find more about me on my website, but it's really lovely. Thank you for inviting me here, WonderZoo.
Thank you so much, Liv Torc. Liv, our headliner all the way from Somerset. Thank you so much for your wonderful reflections upon illness, suffering, death, and also the positive side that can come out of these experiences. Thank you so much for your insights. I'll just go through some of the comments that we've had. So we've had from James Turner about your first poem saying, great poem, Liv, so sad yet finding happiness in an unlikely place. Roland Chesters says, loved it. Dean C says, brilliant stuff. From Claire Duthie, we've got Liv, I loved hearing your poem about Mary again. James Turner says, my virtual background is the Exeter Dissenters graveyard of Liv's poem just now. We've had someone say, brilliant, great, Liv, fantastic, amazing, love, incredible. That was great. Thank you. Enjoyed it. That was from Tommy Ray, and really felt the last poem. That was from Dean C. So thank you so much, Liv. That was absolutely wonderful. Woo.
I realised I juxtaposed the kind of weird, like very happy outfit with very kind of sort of, serious poems. But yeah, I like to do that. But thank you for having me here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now.
Thank you. Woo. Thank you, Liv. It's amazing to see you. Ghost activities again.
Hit me on the head. And we've just found a pumpkin teddy bear.
Somehow that teddy's got a pumpkin head on it. We don't know how that happened. Finally, we have a musician, Dean fucking Hutchinson. Are you there? Hello, Dean. Are you with us from the Pit and Pendulum?
Hello.
Yes, he's there, all the way from the Pit and Pendulum on Ebrington Street in Plymouth. We have Dean fucking Hutchinson ready to perform for us all. Hello.
I'm streaming from home tonight, sadly.
Oh, you're at home. Sorry.
Yeah, we were going to do it at the
from
pit,
the bedroom.
But, it was a bit hard to do.
I'll hand the mic over to you, Dean. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much for having us.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have.
Yeah, right. So yeah, feel free to jump on the mic and give me a listen back, because I did a sound check for myself earlier and blew me head off. And it's been great listening to all the spoken words and the poetry, and I really, really connected with a lot of poems, which has made me really rethink my set. I normally do a lot of shouty politics, so I'm going on to my more focused side tonight. Been here so many times, I've fallen to the floor. Tried and tried again, I know, I've seen it all before. Could have been so much better than I actually am. Why haven't I tried harder? I guess it's just who I am. I was almost famous, I was almost famous, just for that night. Almost famous, just crazy, and I just blame myself. I should be so much further along, but I can't ask for help. I know people have faith, I have none in myself. I just need to try and relate and focus on my mental health. I string these words together so easily, but words slip from my pints to pints every single day. And I must try harder, put some faith in myself, because one single gig can change the world for someone else. And I was almost famous, I was almost famous, just for one night. I was almost famous, I was almost famous, just for that night. I can never be happy, I can never be satisfied with the work that I try to do. I can never try harder, and as much as I do, I can't be anything compared to you. I can never be happy till I'm singing my songs and forget who I am. I can never try harder, and as much as I do, I can't realize who I am. 'Cause I was almost famous, almost famous, just for a night. I was almost famous, almost famous, just for the night. I was almost famous, almost famous, just for the night. I was almost famous, almost famous, just for the night. Woo! It's weird. I've done a couple of streams.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you. So this next song, I normally do always play originals, but there's a musician called Rob Johnson. He does spoken word stuff, a lot of heavily political music. And I've really want more people to know about him. He's been going for a very long time. He's a fantastic musician and a good friend of my dad's. So I thought I'd attempt a cover of it, of an old song by his called Undefeated, which is something that we definitely need to do in these times, is just remain undefeated. Oh, what will they say of us 100 years from now, when they look back on these unhappy days? They'll shake their heads on so many swallowed lies. Dog eat dog so long went undefeated. And they'll curse us then, that so much death crept in. and there was so little left to build again. Will their smiles salute and like a song recall? Somehow we'll carry on undefeated. And I'm tired of wearing thin these same old words of rage. Some days the bad guys win and nothing's changed. Although the language failed, the nerves of love grow numb, somehow we carry on undefeated. Holding old people's lives to be of equal worth, more than the money talk or the tricks of state. The hands that worked no wrong, the breath that lifts that song, the hearts that hold each other undefeated. Hands that work no wrong, the breath that lifts that song, the hearts that hold each other undefeated. The hands that work no wrong, the breath that lifts that song, the hearts that hold each other undefeated. The hands that hold each other undefeated. The hands that hold each other undefeated.
Woo, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that one.
Thank you very much. That's
great. Thank you, Dean.
Roland Chesters.
Did you want to do another one at all?
Yeah, I can do one more.
Okay, brilliant.
That's okay. No
Can you
worries.
do the song called Tories Are Cunts? That's a request that we've had from Gabi Marcellus-Temple.
I wasn't going to do that one, actually.
Gabi says, go on.
Go on. I was really trying to avoid swearing. I can. It's an ad-lib. It's called The Tories Are Cunts. It's an ad-lib song. It basically is just it's several verses of what's pissing me off at the moment. Crap. Yes, I can do it. I can do it. It's the Tories kind of make swearing essential. That is true. Well, I was going to finish on a brand new song. But if this has been requested, I can't really say no requests. If you like my material, self-promotion, very quickly, if you like my material tonight, please go check out my music page or my Bandcamp page. I'm definitely going to be checking out a lot of the poets that I've seen tonight. Right, here we go. Originally, this song was written about May. I got told off for calling her a cunt. They said I was sexist, but that is not one thing that I do. I just think people who are cunts, call them cunts. And then the world went south a little bit longer that we saw in December times when spring didn't last all too long. Huddled around with shots, seeing Bethune get to an office, and now we're here in darkness, and I think we all know it. That Johnson's a cunt. Yeah, Johnson's a cunt. He may cut our benefits, he'll never cut our hearts. Only the machines that support them, and that's what they're doing. Killing off our old and our disabled, making it harder for people with mental health to seek their help. And I think you know what we're all talking about. And every time I turn on my TV screen, there's a buffoon swearing that he knows what he's doing, with oven-ready deals that he's definitely bought from Tesco's. I can't take this anymore, 'cause Johnson's a cunt. Yeah, Johnson's a cunt. They may cut our benefits, but he'll never cut our hearts. Yeah, Johnson's a cunt. Yeah, Johnson's a cunt. We may cut our benefits, but he'll never cut our hearts. Only the machines that support them. Shh. Shh. This is where I quiet down. I'll explain one or two things. Try to be careful around my songwriting. I like to speak the truth about hardships and dismay and things that break my heart every day. Now this man in a suit, and he's saying that is your friend. He's not. Fuck, you don't even know him. You think he's doing a good job, and I swear that he's not. But it takes more than one man to have a party, 'cause the Tories are cunts. The Tories are cunts. Sing it at home if you want to. They may cut our benefits, they'll never cut our hearts. The Tories are cunts. The Tories are cunts. They may cut our benefits, they'll never cut our hearts. Only the machines that support them.
Woo! Thank you so much, Dean fucking Hutchinson. That was so good. We've had a couple of really nice comments. Preach from Jess L. Raven Rose says, I can get fully behind this message. James Turner says, I don't usually understand political poems or find them funny. This one made perfect sense to me. It was funny, especially the cunt bits. Claire Duthie says, me too. Great. And I think you have one more song you said, don't you, Dean?
I could do one more. Yeah,
that would be great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we've got one last message from Slane McGough Davey.
I should buy you a record tomorrow. I think it's brilliant. And if you got it on wherever you got it, I'll find it. And remind me of Crass, who I grew up loving.
Nice. That's a brilliant comparison. That song isn't on the record yet. It will be coming on the next EP. There's a free track record out on Bandcamp, which is deanhutchinson.bandcamp.com.
Okay, thank you, Dean.
That's got that. Yeah, no worries. That's got the first track that I played. That's the last track on that EP. So I wanted to finish off on this one. I wrote this. This is going to be rough. I wrote this the other day. I've been recording a new EP recently in my little office studio thing that I've got in here, and I also got news for the first time in my life that I'll never be spending Christmas. I won't be spending Christmas with my family. So writing all my material, thoughts went on like that, and I know a lot of people are in the same situation, and it's a difficult time for everybody. So I thought it's not depressing. I'm trying not to be depressed. It's just uplifting to still be able to talk to people and really talk. If you're struggling at all, there's someone to talk to. There's always someone to talk to. So the song's called "I Miss You." I know it's dark times right now, and I'm still writing protest songs about how I'm angry and pissed off at everything. Yeah, that just seems like all I'm doing. But I'm keeping well, I'm keeping busy. I want to take a moment to tell you some things. There's only so much 20-minute conversation on the phone, on the way or work that you can get out. And there's so much I want to tell you. It seems like a fantasy right now, just being able to see you. I know you don't like cameras that much. I could see you smile, and I want a message all the time. You know what I'm like, things just slip through my mind. I really hope you're doing well, and I promise I'm fine. Yeah, I hope you are well, and I miss you. I talk about a lot of things all the time, the good and the bad things that make up my mind. It's alright, we'll see each other, yes, soon I hope. Until then I've got the family I made from home. Yeah, I hope you are well. I miss you. I hope you are well. I promise we will talk soon. Yeah, I hope you are well, and I miss you.
that was great. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you so much for having
Let me
me.
just see some of the messages that we can let you know about. Okay. Great, good sound quality, Dean. We don't often get that on Zoom, which was from James Turner. Amy Dannon says, such a talented man, just incredible. Liv Torc says, lovely new song. Amy Dannon again says, so beautiful. Claire says, brilliant, thank you. And yeah, that was great. Thank you so much, Dean. It was great to see you perform at WonderZoo.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for having us. Hope let's definitely do something again soon.
Right. So I just want to say thank you to all the performers that we've had today. It's been wonderful to see you all via Zoom. Obviously not quite the same as us being all in the same room, all in person, connecting that way. But I really do hope that once all of this has blown over, we have a massive gathering with all our performers and just a massive party at some point, because I really miss that.
Awesome!
Yeah, is that? Yeti saying awesome. Yes, we must have a big party when all of this has if all of this has blown over. So as you all know, that we've had the anthology out, and now we're going to do a bit of a open mic thing. So for anyone who would like to perform one of their poems that they've had put in the anthology, please do. I've got Slain McGough Davey going to perform a poem. I know that James Turner wanted to, and also Claire Duthie. So the first thing I'm going to do is hand over to Slain McGough.
Hi everyone. I'd like to say what a fantastic evening it's been, and yeah, it's been really good, and I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed everyone, including the weird spooky stuff going on in here, which is unusual, and the flying records of Black Sabbath. And if we just as we just see, Mrs. Liden's here. Hello everyone. I do fancy Dean. I think he's sexy. I really fancy him. I hope to get an umper mic night soon up there in the pit. Watch out behind the bar, because I'm quite small. I can reach you very easily in the trouser department. Right. Enough of Miss Sliden's
that was weird.
Unusual conversation. So anyway, so this next bit is anyone that has got a piece they want to read tonight, especially related to the magazine. We also got James Turner in the house, and he said he's going to read something. So I'll read something that from the magazine that's in the magazine. Roland Chesters and Tia Meraki are going to read as well. Fantastic. Roland Chesters, like to say, I know I haven't seen you since, well, about a year or so ago in Plymouth, but fantastic writer, really is, and really privileged to have you in the house tonight. So this is called Young Lovers Love. It's a bit of science fiction, kind of. It's about time travel with my partner being the girl in it, but it probably wouldn't have happened because it would have been the Second World War. So it's called Young Lovers Love. I met a girl with jet black hair under the Palace Theatre. Just like Lauren Hardenley, a sketch in a film sketch. The curtain calls and ice cream melts. But a kiss was more delicious than any ice cream, any strawberry ice cream. As we kissed at the bus stop, I met a girl under the Palace Theatre with jet black hair, fine jet black hair, like this jet black hair, fine jet black hair, fine jet black hair. And Tommy's just interrupted me. There we go. Lauren Hardy, everyone, please come by. I met a girl with jet black hair under the Palace Theatre. A kiss was more delicious than any strawberry ice cream as we kissed. Her dress shone like a searchlight, louder than any bomb, sweeter than any death, greater than any birth, more surreal than death itself. If only all love could be good as one night, one passion, and one kiss, because I met a girl with jet black hair under the Palace Theatre. I just got a kiss a minute, shy. Just like that. The girl with the strawberry ice cream. The girl with a kiss of a strawberry ice cream. I don't personally like ice cream, but I like that kiss. Young lovers running under the sky, starlight, curfew sounded, and the air raid sounded. But love is better than war. Love is sweeter than war. Love is sweeter than death, but death is more surreal than life itself. But the curtain calls, and I still don't recall her name, at the Palace Theatre. The girl with the jet black hair, the girl with the jet black hair, and the strawberry ice cream, more delicious than a strawberry ice cream. One moment, I better get another kiss. The girl with the strawberry ice cream, the girl with the black hair under the Palace Theatre. Laughter and tears, fun-filled evenings, a shadow of the former self, a ghost of a memory long lost, just like the ghost tonight in this morgue. A shadow of a past glory, the Palace Theatre stands and shines to the sky. But to me, the most precious thing in life is the girl with the jet black hair, the girl with the strawberry ice cream. One moment, I just need another kiss. Fuck, I'm thinking I'm going to be a vampire. But still, I cry mostly every now and again for the sweet memories of the girl with the jet black hair. Not the searchlights, not the war, not the raining bombs, but the girl with the jet black hair and the strawberry ice cream. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much, Slane McGough Davey. So, is Clare Duthie there? I do believe you would like to share with us a poem.
Now. Hey.
Hello. Great to see you, Clare.
So I'm going to read from a top screen. So I see what you're doing. Hold on. So my internet connection is a bit unstable, I'm afraid, but
that's okay.
I'll carry on going. So this is all about, basically it's my response to Homer and the Iliad and the Odyssey. So it's called Cassandra, Circe or Circe, Penelope, and it's in 3 parts. They named me Cassandra. That just made me look, feel and act madder and madder. When Apollo approached me, he told me to swallow. When I told him, no, 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 he turned away. Now all I do is go a screaming and a shrieking, a room to room. And this is Circe. My name is Circe. Some have entitled me even Enchantress, but that is only Homer's account. This is my story. They approached me one by one, and then all in a hurry. For I was to be their delight for the night. Yet where was to be mine? They should have considered that, as I turned them into piggy wiggy wiggies, 1, 2, and a 3, with only the tone of my voice. And then on to the last bit, which is called Penelope. I'm the ever-faithful wife, Odysseus, my beloved, ever full of strife. Suitors I have many, with my loom and needle I keep them at bay. Then anonymous Odysseus returns. He sets me a challenge. I see through his disguise. From my rough-hewed and mannered pursuers, he rescues me again. This is the end of my narrative. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Clare. That was great. Love that.
You're welcome. And you liked it.
So next up, we have James Turner, all the way from Exeter.
Only I don't have to. Hello. Hello. Great evening. Great evening. Up to this point. And I've got one poem ready, which is a spooky poem. It's a Halloween poem, which I wrote on the 31st of October a few years ago, but I didn't make a note of the year. And it's called Stay Sober for the 31st of October. And it goes like this. And it's got to be read in a Yorkshire accent. Their see-through colours vary, their faces round and hairy, their sudden groans right scary. They give off vapours which don't always lack scent. Have you ever seen a spook? You'll see one if you look. Shop windows some kids book, but you must do it in a Yorkshire accent. Their eyes are large and round, in churchyard they abound, they float above the ground. You won't escape by shinning up a tree. Their hair is black and spiky, their voices open micy. Some folk go eck, some crikey when they spy one. Yorkshire folk go ee. Very much.
Oh, thank you. Really enjoyed that accent. Thank you, James. So we've got two more artists to perform. We've got Roland Chesters and Tia Meraki. So first of all, Roland. Oh, and Gabi's going to perform. So first off, it's Roland. Hello. Are you there, Roland?
Yeah,
you might need
I'm
to
here.
unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
Hello, Roland. Nice to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All yours.
Thank you. So during lockdown, like many other people, I spent some time clearing out cupboards and trying to get rid of stuff. And in so doing, I came across various objects that had some emotional attachment, some history, and I started writing stories about them. So this is the story of one of those objects, and it's called Le Sabot. A sabot is a French clog, a wooden clog, like a Dutch clog, but a French one. So this piece is called Le Sabot. It lies at the back of the shoe cupboard, hidden behind that pair of shoes that never see daylight because they're just a tad too small. But I don't want to get rid of them because they were so expensive, and surely one day my feet will shrink enough to fit into them. Just one wooden sabot, the left foot. It's small, appropriately sized for a child or a woman, roughly hewn and crudely shaped, with some ugly dark brown stains marking the wooden interior. It was my mother's. Born in Paris in 1925, my mother, Claudie, and her twin sister, Claudine, were 14 when World War II erupted. They, together with their elder sister, Eliane, and their parents lived in a three-roomed second-floor flat in Les Lilas, some 5 kilometers east of the Gare du Nord in Paris. Madeleine, my grand-mère, was a seamstress, and Henri, my grand-père, was a carpenter working for the city of Paris. Their flat had a kitchen/living room, a tiny bedroom for my grandparents, and an even smaller bedroom for the 3 girls, who all shared the one bed. The only sink in the flat was in the kitchen area, and it was in this one sink that crockery, laundry, and bodies were all washed. The toilet was in a shed in the backyard. The lighting in the dark communal spiral staircase was operated by a minute switch, and it was always a rush to get up or down the stairs in time before the minute switch clicked off. When Germany declared war against France and Great Britain in September 1939, Henri and Madeleine were concerned, but not unduly so. After all, France had built the Maginot Line against such an eventuality. But as the German army broke through into France in May 1940, circumventing the Maginot Line, their alarm grew. It soon became clear that the invading army was rapidly approaching Paris. Madeleine, ever pragmatic, felt that it would be useful for her 3 girls to learn some basic German in case they needed to interact with, or indeed defend themselves from, the foreign soldiers. But she couldn't afford lessons for all 3 of her girls, so Claudie and Claudine were sent to alternate lessons without informing the tutor. They were identical twins, so identical that sometimes not even their parents could tell them apart, and the tutor, never realizing that he actually had 3 pupils and not 2, was confused as to why Claudie or Claudine was not making as much progress in learning German as was Eliane. And then the Germans entered Paris in June 1940. Panic-stricken, my mother, her sisters, and their parents joined the general exodus from the city. A cousin had an ancient car. They all piled in, together with the two neighbors from downstairs, Monsieur and Madame Surcouf, and merged with the thousands of Parisians filling the roads out to the city, with automobiles, tourist buses, trucks, wagons, carts, bicycles, and on foot, with no clear idea of where they were actually going. The slow-moving river of refugees took 10 hours to cover 30 kilometers. After 2 days, the car gave up the struggle and died on the roadside. Henri decided that his family would be safer returning to Paris, so they abandoned the vehicle and retraced their steps, struggling against the tide of those still fleeing the city. Once home, they took refuge in their flat, and from its safety and security watched the German troops entering the city, always apprehensive, always cautious, ever on the alert. By this time, Claudine had learned to understand Guten Abend, schönes Mädchen, wie geht es Ihnen? And learned even more quickly, das ist verboten. But the war eventually shattered their family life. And Henri was identified as a civil servant and was taken from his family by the Germans to live in a work camp and dig graves in the Bois de Boulogne for members of the resistance and other undesirables shot by the invading force. He had no means of communicating with his wife and daughters, nor they with him. They could only hope and pray that the loved ones were safe. In early 1943, the Allied bombing of Paris started. Le Lille lies close to the Gare du Nord, which was one of the main entry points into Paris for German troops and supplies, was a prime target for bombing. As the bombs dropped ever nearer, Madeleine, yet again, made plans to leave Paris with her daughters, this time to join her family in Foligny on the coast of Normandy, some 250 kilometers away. At a certain point, about 100 kilometers from Paris, they spotted an empty open-top cattle truck train trundling slowly across the countryside, heading towards the Normandy coast. Together with other refugees, they made a dash for the train and were able to climb on board, the girls hauling their mother up behind them. The children were relieved. No more walking. There was enough room for them to spread out in the cattle trucks, and although it was a little smelly, it was a much better form of transport than continuing on foot. They had only been in the cattle truck a few hours when a lone German aircraft flew low over the train, recognized that it was carrying refugees, and circled back to start strafing the occupants of the trucks. The train pulled to a sudden halt. Madeleine, Claudine jumped out. Eliane was trapped under the body of a refugee caught in the hail of bullets. Madeleine fractured her elbow in the fall and crawled under the truck. Claudine ran into a nearby copse of trees, attempting to hide in the foliage, but in the mad, terrifying panic, lost their shoes. Once she was sure the strafing plane had disappeared, Madeleine gathered her girls together. Eliane was uncovered, unhurt, from underneath the corpse lying on her and helped out of the truck. She strapped up her mother's elbow. Claudine were found, still hiding under the trees. There was no time to try and find their shoes, as Madeleine was concerned the airplane would return, and perhaps this time accompanied by other flyers eager for some target practice. The twins were told to tear up some of the clothing they were carrying to make covers for their feet so they could continue the long walk to Normandy. And off they set once again, turning their faces to the coast and leaving behind the bloodied and tangled destruction of lives and train. Off in the Bois de Boulogne, Henri heard that a pair of twins had been killed during a bombing raid on the street where his family lived in Le Lille. Frantic with fear that this could be his beloved daughters, he escaped from the work camp and made his way to the flat. There, neighbours told him that it was not Claudia and Claudine that had been killed in the air raid. And once he found Madeleine's note pinned to the pillow, he knew in which direction they had been heading. Henri stole a bicycle and set off after them. Somehow, miraculously, he managed to follow their tracks and eventually caught up with them, exhausted on their way to Foligny. By this time, the rags covering Claudie and Claudine's feet were in tatters, and their feet sore and bleeding. They had no money to buy new shoes. Indeed, there were no shops selling them. They had already used all of whatever spare clothing they had to make the rag shoes, but they couldn't walk the rest of the way, at least another 150 kilometers to safety, completely barefooted. Henri still had some of his carpentry tools with him. He had thought that they may come in useful as weapons should the need arise. He used them to cut branches from a tree and to make sabot for the twins. He was not a sabot maker. He was a carpenter. But this rudimentary footwear would suffice to get his children to the safety of Foligny. The twins walked the remaining distance in those sabots, undoubtedly in severe pain, but uncomplaining, sustained by the firm belief that shelter and safety would be provided to them at their grandparents' farm. When they arrived there, they walked on in silence. By the time they arrived at their destination, their feet were lacerated and blistered, and all the small bones in the front of their feet were broken. The insides of the sabots were blood-stained. Their feet were twisted and misshapen, never to recover. Henri was distraught that his handiwork had reduced his children's feet to this sodden mess of broken bones, but the twins reassured him that they were grateful and just happy to be in relative safety with their family and their grandparents, away from the bombs and the terror of Paris. The family eventually returned to Paris, but to the safety of a luxurious apartment right next to the Eiffel Tower. Henri had been given the keys to the apartment by a Swiss businessman who wanted to take his family to his home country during the war, but needed someone to live in the flat to keep it secure. Henri and his family were glad to move in, being so close to the one monument that personified Paris to the world over, and which nobody would dare to bomb, gave them reassurance that they could be safe there. The last air raid sirens over Paris were sounded on the day of the 18th birthday of the twins. Paris was liberated on the 25th of August, 1944, and Claudie and Claudine, together with their sister and parents, watched from the window of their lone flat as a French sailor climbed up the stairs to the top of the Eiffel Tower to hoist the French flag from its topmost point. When Charles de Gaulle marched triumphantly from the Arc de Triomphe to Notre-Dame de Paris, my mother and aunt were in the adoring crowds welcoming him. However, not everyone was so happy to see him. Communist partisans had hidden in the rooftops along the way and tried to shoot at de Gaulle. Although the shots failed to reach him, some people in the crowds were hit, and amongst ensuing panic, my aunt managed to jump into the River Seine and had to be rescued, a dripping, soggy mess. Although over the years, the blisters, scars, and lacerations on the feet of Claudia and Claudine healed, their bones never recovered. My mother and my aunt had grossly deformed feet for the rest of their lives. Walking was painful and difficult, and they had problems maintaining their balance. Often they would have to stop, take off a shoe, and rearrange a bone or two in their feet to enable them to carry on walking. Both women loved to dress well, with a certain Parisian flair, all apart from the shoes. My mother hated going into shoe shops to buy shoes. Her feet would never fit into the shoes. The shop assistant will be horrified by the ugly deformation of her feet and then embarrassed by her horror. But she kept the sabot her father had made for her. Just the one, the left one. For her, it was a testament to the love her father had for his children. He did his very best with the tools that he had and the skills that he had to provide for them during the very worst of times so they could get to a better, safer place. I remember seeing that sabot in my mother's shoe cabinet. She wouldn't let me play with it, but she never took it out of the cabinet. She never talked to my brother and I about her teenage years in war-stricken Paris. It was almost as if when she came to England to marry my father, she drew a veil over the life she was leaving behind. and the memories that it contained. After the war, my mother went into a deep depression and was subjected to electric shock therapy. It's a brutal and frightening form of treatment, and must have been even more so to a teenage girl nearly 80 years ago. She never spoke of it, but after she died in 2007 at the age of 82, the French health authorities released all her historical medical records to her GP, who also happened to be both mine and my brother's GP, and he passed those records on to us. In her later life, my mother took to writing her memoirs. They contain no mention of the electric shock therapy, but did tell the story about the sabot. And at last, I understood. Thank you. Apparently I got muted partway through, so I apologize for that. You probably missed the very best bits of it. I'm not going to read it again.
Roland, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I must say that I do admire you as a writer and admire all the things that you do. And I will miss this year's World AIDS Day and the what Kevin does up at Stoke Downwell Church, because I photograph that every year. And what you do is amazing. Do you want to tell people a little bit about what you do? Because it's amazing.
Thank you. That's not the reason why I came here tonight, but I'm a HIV activist. I'm a disability consultant. I support, I coach, and I train organizations to be more confident in supporting their employees who are disabled. And I am a volunteer Positive Voices speaker with Terence Higgins Trust. So I go into organizations, talk about living with HIV, and I've published a book called Ripples from the Edge of Life, which is about my HIV and AIDS diagnosis and includes the stories of 13 other people from around UK, including the lovely Kevin, who describe their own diagnosis and the way that they've managed their lives. Thank you for that.
No, fantastic. I just admire what you're doing. I admire you as a writer and admire you as an activist. So to me, you're a hero. So thank you for all the work you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to, I'm just going to, if anyone's noticed, I seem to have a spirit pumpkin on my head. I'm not quite sure how a pumpkin arrived on my head. I did hear rumours this could be the cure for the COVID-19. We all wear pumpkin heads. So if this is what Boris Johnson's going to do, please do carry on voting the Tories so we can all wear pumpkin heads. And I'm just going to hand over to Tia. Are you there? Is Tia there?
I'm muted now. Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. I'd like to say, would you like to carry on the next piece? And then Gabi will be coming in after you, and then it will be finishing on Tommy and something special. You haven't got a pumpkin head on there, have you?
I know. I was just saying I haven't got a pumpkin.
I mean, this is the next craze. We're all going to wear pumpkin heads. I mean, it will be next craze. I swear it. This will be Glastonbury 2021. Right. I'll let you carry on.
2021, I'll be very, very happy and happily wear a pumpkin if that's the price.
Good. I think pumpkin heads are the in thing. This is the cure for COVID-19. This is what the government's promised us to all have by Christmas. I'll let you carry on now.
Well, thank you for bringing the mood back up there. So yeah, I was just going to read the piece that's in the anthology. So thank you for including it. It's just something I wrote after going back to visit Bristol for a couple of days, a couple of weeks back. So I kind of moved in January, just before all of the strangeness kicked off. Yeah, this is only the second time that I've been back, and it's all a bit weird. So yeah, this is about that. Precious flashes of normality, in sharper relief here in this strange familiar city, where my memories of life as it was have found themselves couch surfing, not wanting to admit they've been homeless for months. Negative images that illuminate the strangeness, light writing, photography, and I forgot to capture a single image. If I had, they'd have looked like a black and white cats curled up warm into backs of knees at 3 a.m. Grey skies framing paint pastel houses that totter up and down and up again. Breakfast becoming brunch, becoming lunch, and most of all, I savour the kitchen table chatter, relishing the accompanied silences, the conversations about everything and nothing, afternoon cushions and blankets and teenage wizards saving the world on the TV screen. An hour spent stabling unicorns and narwhals that threaten pandemonium. Postgraduates still learning the geography of Europe through card games into our 30s, around a kitchen table adorned with a forgotten Rizzler packet and handcrafted flowers. Another kitchen table, this one in a house I used to live in. I retrieve a rescued hula hoop from a hook on the wall. A brown and white dog bucking this year's trends. Her anxiety subsided into calm now that her human pack is always home. A song about blackberry picking in the dark, barely audible, still tastes sweet. One hug, a solid, soothing kind of magic. Another at arm's length. A distanced reminder that we're not supposed to be here, not supposed to touch. Treading rain-sloshed bridges over mud-brown Avon swell. We're all strapped down, ship-shape, ready for the next ebb and list, or as ready as we can be. And I don't know how much longer we can bridge this social chasm, with typed words or talking in yellow boxes and distorted voices. And it's good to see your faces, even at a distance. And I feel overwhelmed and underwhelmed all in the same moment. And I always thought the apocalypse would be more dramatic. If I had to choose a film of this year, then maybe Bokeh. Beautiful and slow and vast and lonely, with an impending sense of emptiness. So here I am, here we are, stockpiling sanity and connection, and dreaming of hugs without risk assessments. Yeah, so that was that. Thank you.
I am muted. All right. That's great, Tia. Thanks very much. Have you got anything else or just the one tonight?
I've got another one if there's time. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Liv was saying earlier, obviously it's Halloween Samhain coming up, which is that kind of link back to ancestors. So this is something that I wrote the other day about my grandma, who is my namesake. So my actual name is Theodosir Psychoios. So Tia is the shorter, easier to pronounce variation. My name is Mayayas, passed down across generations and seas, like sage smoke and laughter and the ability to hunt snails and forage leaves. It didn't travel quite so well from Critico Horio to Herefordshire village. Truncated for English ears and English tongues. Its full pronunciation demanded and then butchered so often that sometimes I wonder if I can hold on to its true sound, and that I came to dread being introduced or stepping onto stages. So I keep it tucked away on a shelf. Cancelled. I've just was I muted for the whole thing?
Just a few seconds at the end.
Okay. Should I read the last couple of lines again? I don't know.
How many lines is difficult to tell, but read a little bit more than just the last 3 lines, but don't have to read the whole of it. Just a tiny bit.
So I'll just do the last bit. So I keep it tucked away on a shelf, always pleasantly surprised when a friend picks it up, rolls it around their memory and tongue, lets its sage smoke and laughter spill into the air between us. So hopefully that made sense from wherever you got to before I got muted. Yeah, thanks for listening.
That was great. Thanks, Tia. Really enjoyed that. Can I have some clapping from around me, please? Thank you. Yeah, sorry, we've been having a few technical difficulties tonight. Apparently these are quite common in the old morgue. The photographer has had issues with his batteries draining, and yeah, this happens a lot. So I'm going to read the penultimate poem of the night. I know he's going to do it after. Sorry, I'm getting little comments from Slane from across the room. Yeah, so a lot of this work is featured in the anthology, as I said, Roland Chesters' piece, Le Sabot, or The Clog, pieces by Slane, McGough Davey, Clare Duthie, Tia Meraki, and I'm going to just finish off with a slightly silly piece, because we recently decided we'd try and record the minutes of a WonderZoo meeting, from which we then produced a transcript. But surprisingly, for such a serious group as WonderZoo, we occasionally get a little bit silly in our meetings. So I edited the meetings into a surrealist poem. He's stealing my broth for the second time out. Yes, so that's noted for the record that Peter Davey has tried to steal my underwear. Noted for the record that she is not surprised, as she knows the most about his sexual predators in the Northeast. And, oh God, did you? Oh, nothing has happened between us, although also a lot of us mind it did. She's like, yeah, I knew you'd be asking me to join in. Christ, now she's like, yeah, you would want me back for more. I just didn't know where to put my faces, on my God. Your voice doesn't. Still up on the window and his hair all fluffed up and shouting at the garden, you know. Okay, no, you pretty much slept throughout. That didn't really come about. Onions. Oh, you've got the internet. You're in a haunted town anyway. But then if it's a lockdown, I might be stuck on my mind. We're going to be okay. Make a bomb, or you're going to go to mice. I painted my kids with acrylic slides at times. I'm not sure. Powdered it like power. She offered us all the cupcakes she gets, 8.42 for cleanliness, and at 8:40 she approached the water filter. She has still not read Pete his rights. Mike is acting as Pete's solicitor, and I am the inappropriate adult. You should be smoking inside the police station. Shut up. I'll beat you. Isn't it so obvious? The most hallucinogenic plant you can ever encounter, honey. You can make things happen. Can you make orbs appear? Many possessed by the ghost of the small dead child. Well, yes, that was the job. I can do that. Look famous in the north. Right. Where is he? Where is he? What's upstairs? He's flying. I can't see him. I heard him. Sounds like when you sleep. Keep it a dream. And that's one of my pieces that's in the anthology. Did you want to join us for a last word, Tommy? Ooh. You've been struggling? Do you want to hide? All right.
Okay, so I've been struggling because my poetry, silent poetry. I don't often do poetry to people, so I keep it to myself because I can't be bothered to do poetry to anyone else. But I don't know if I'm any good or not. But I don't know, yeah, I suppose. So, okay, so I can say silent poetry is but of your mind. You never know what you're going to find. Could be good, could be bad, could be incredibly sad. For if you don't know what you know now, you won't ever be. I don't know. But anyhow, so life is a journey. You walk your path, you wander along, and that's where you go. You don't care about nothing. You look at yourself, you look at your life, your mental health. You're not fussed if you're bothered or you're not. You wander along that path looking for a breeze. You look for the breeze and it comes your way across the meadow. It does sway. Here it comes, a beautiful breeze. There we go. I'm going to leave.
Woo! That's great stuff from Tommy. And thank you to all of our performers tonight. Thank you to our beautiful vampiric compare, Queen Chi. Come here. There she is. And yeah, there is Pete in devil form and Slane. Sorry. Yes, the name has changed and I'm not catching up. And yeah, thank you to the spectral figures who've been involved with our technology. If you did see anything strange tonight, do continue to message us and let us know. And there will be a video up soon with a few little extra features from the old morgue. Can we say thank you to Mrs. Lydon? No, I don't think we can. Sod Mrs. Lydon. She's not my favourite. Yeah, so we're going to hang out at the old morgue a little longer, see if anything else scary happens. And
bye to everyone. I feel like one of the two Romans.